Fact is that failure or success in starting a career in Germany entirely depends on your ability to communicate with your patients, doctors, nurses, and be able to document your findings in clear medical German. We all agree that learning a new language can be hard. But hey, you guys are doctors. You guys have studied your whole life to get where you are. Surely you do not need to learn how to study again. Before you dismiss this idea, ask yourself, when was the last time you learned a new language? Specifically, a new language on which your entire career depended on. So now that we are in agreement and I've got you thinking, let's begin by discussing what methods I use to get better in German, then moving on to how to properly use those methods to improve your fluency using medical German. Let's get started. Method number one is to recite what you know. Reciting is a useful method to learn anything fast because it forces you to actively engage with the content rather than passively consuming it when you cram something. This in turn increases your ability to remember and recall that information. How to use this method? Are you watching a YouTube video in German? Open the transcript of that video and start reciting what you see along with the video playing. You can even decrease the playback speed of the video to make it easier to recite along. It is okay to struggle at this stage. It is pretty normal. How I used it. I took this method one step further. I stood in front of a mirror and then recited those words, and I watched myself speak those alien foreign words, and it felt really weird initially, but very soon I felt comfortable with the sounds that were coming out of my mouth. That added to the confidence of then speaking in German. Recitation of what you know is our first method. If you found value up till now in this video, hit the like button if you haven't already done that, and consider subscribing to the channel. You can even subscribe to my Facebook group with over 3,000 members, wherein we discuss everything related to the path to a PG in Germany. And of course, my newsletter, which has over 1,000 doctors just like you, wherein every month I share important links and information and updates with you guys. The links are in the description down below. Technique number 2 is called chunking. Chunking is the art of taking similar information, breaking it down into smaller bits of information. They are grouped together and then memorized together, which helps them be stored in your brain together. This technique will be very useful to learn medical terminologies. You need all of your medical terms that you've learned during MBBS to be in German. Formal medical German terms and simplified German. Both of those variations are necessary for you to remember. Chunking can help you do that. Let me tell you how I used it. Put down the English word in one column. Next to it, put down the German equivalent of that medical term in formal medical German. And right next to that, put down the translated version in simple German. This will allow you to club those three versions together so that you can exactly see what you're learning. You can take it one step further by combining, let's say, the gastrointestinal system and its related terms together, chunking them in one group with 3 columns and memorizing them together. However, it is time consuming. I understand. And here's what you can do to save yourself that time and still practice this technique. There is a link down below in the description which leads to a course. It is called the FSP Vocabulary Trainer course to help you gain familiarity and memorize medical terminology. Already done for you the most common terms that you will be using on an everyday basis to clear your FSP exam, the FSP Vocab Trainer. Link in the description down below. The third technique is called active recall. This technique is key when it comes to storing information as memories. You can absorb the information very quickly after reviewing it multiple times. Here's how to use this technique to your advantage. Find a study partner, somebody you can practice what you learn with. Study one topic. Any one topic could be a grammatical rule that you learn. 5 terms that you learned from the respiratory chapter. Meet up with your partner partner, you could just teach them what you learned last night, helping you actively recall that information and giving it to them. Your partner, who just learned from you, could go home and the very same evening read up on that topic, helping them actively recall what you taught them. It makes the learning experience fun, but a whole lot more effective than learning alone. Especially for medical terminologies, this can be extremely helpful when also combined with another method of testing yourself as soon as you learn something. A quiz or a question bank of sorts, similar to what you used to do preparing for entrance examinations. MCQ questions you used to practice. Not only was that to help you get faster doing MCQs, it was also to help you get faster at recalling information. And that is the same technique that you'll be using to learn medical terminologies when after your learning session, you find a way to test yourself with a quiz. Where do I find a question bank? How do I test myself? Is there another quiz book that's available? In the FSP vocab trainer, at the end of each chapter, there's also a quiz helping you actively recall and solidify that information in your brain. But where do I find my study partner? You don't think I forgot about that, did you? In the FSP vocab trainer, there is also a community section which comes as a part of that course. You can come in contact with learners just like you, ask your problems in the community group, and of course, find a study partner with whom you can connect on Google Meet with and study every day. Check out the link in the video description down below. The fourth technique is called spaced repetition. When learning a language, you need to give your brain time to get used to acclimatize to the new information, the new sounds, the new words, the new rules. This technique involves reviewing material and information gradually at increasing intervals to reinforce learning and retention. How would you use this technique? Learn a set of 10 new words today and no more. Restrict yourself in the beginning, even if you think you can remember more. Aim to stand in front of the mirror after 3 days and test yourself on these exact 10 words you learned and try to see how many you remember. You can take the quiz at the end of those 10 terms again to see how many you get correct. Try and recall what you've learned and watch how your retention increases over time, because the goal here is to force your brain to revisit the neural channels that were formed the first time during your study session. Done after a period of time has elapsed, this technique will reinforce the words that you learned and in the process help you gain confidence in your ability to retain and recall new medical German vocabulary when you want. You want to know the true secret of good studying habits? Is to start small. Pick one or two techniques. Develop a habit of using them to better your German language skills. Gradually, you can increase the number of study sessions or the number of techniques in your daily learning habits. It is also important to set realistic goals. I have discussed all the 4 techniques that I personally use to better my ability using German, and I hope you found value in that too. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel today. Hit the like button if you haven't already done that. You can join my Facebook group and my newsletter. The links are in the description down below. It was a joy making this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it too. Until next time, Namaste. Alles Gute.